Spontaneously, I decided to watch the Lego Batman movie without looking into any reviews or having any expectations, and I have one question. Why the hell did no one tell me about how good this movie is? I'm already into building Lego sets, and I've played a couple of Lego games back in the day, such as Lego Star Wars, but I never thought I'd enjoy a Lego movie. It's just an idea or concept that I've unintentionally written off in the past because I never thought a Lego movie could be good, if I'm being honest. And yet, here we are, past me was wrong because the Lego Batman movie might be one of the most enjoyable and least offensive comic book movies I've ever seen. The Lego Batman movie is the best kind of love letter to the series of Batman films we've ever gotten. On its surface level, it's a lighthearted movie with beautiful animation, but it's actually held together by funny jokes and a ton of Batman references that are fun to pick out, no matter how dedicated or casual of a fan you are. Unfortunately, the originally planned sequel has been cancelled, but that's not going to stop me from raving about this outstanding movie. The biggest strength of this movie is the fact that the spotlight is consistently on or stolen by Batman. Let me explain. In previous Batman movies or TV shows, there's typically someone taking away the spotlight from Batman. The Rogues Gallery arguably brings out the best of Batman, and that's because Batman isn't the most entertaining superhero in the world. For example, the Batman v Joker dynamic is consistently entertaining because of the fact that Joker pretty much carries that dynamic time and time again. Other members of the Rogues Gallery, such as Catwoman, Penguin, and Harley Quinn, steal the spotlight whenever they're on screen and interacting with Batman, whether it's in Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham City, The Harley Quinn Show, or even a movie such as Batman Returns. The Lego Batman movie does such a phenomenal job at establishing the fact that the focus is Batman. The dynamic between Batman and other characters in this movie is carried by Batman. Batman's actually witty, has great one-liners with various characters in this movie, and there are even serious moments that actually manage to make a positive impact for this characterization of Batman too. What also helps, and this isn't necessarily a complaint nor a dislike, is that the Joker in this movie isn't necessarily as strong or prevalent as other previous iterations of the Joker. The Lego Batman movie also manages to capitalize on Bruce Wayne's tragic backstory without actually retelling his backstory like most Batman films continue to do. Literally everyone who's ever watched a Batman film can tell you that Batman's parents died in an alleyway one night and it eventually led to him becoming Batman. Instead of doing that and slowing the momentum of the movie down, they show the impact of Batman's tragic backstory through funny jokes such as the scene that was in the beginning of the video, or even showing us how lonely Batman's life actually is, which of course is by choice. Speaking of which, it's hard to not give a nod to the concept or message of this movie, which is forcing Batman to go out of his comfort zone and actually learn that he doesn't need to be this stone cold, everyone stay away from me type of superhero that Batman typically is when he's not using his lifestyle to impress the people or women of Gotham. This iteration of Batman is forced to acknowledge his flaws and grow out of them throughout the story of this movie. These creative decisions for the movie genuinely allowed me to enjoy myself as the movie progressed. For example, the idea of Joker being like, you know what, Batman doesn't want to admit that we need each other because we give each other purpose. Fine, I'll let him save the day so I can go to jail with the rest of the members of the Rogues Gallery on purpose to make him come back and eventually beg for my attention is actually hilarious because we all know it's true. The dynamic between Joker and Batman is a continuous toxic relationship, but like it or not, they give each other purpose. This creative idea feels like a comedic homage to the last Joker scene in The Dark Knight without trying to be The Dark Knight or overstepping the boundaries of one of the best Batman movies ever made. On top of that, I love the idea of Robin being this young kid that Batman unintentionally and forgetfully adopts, which turns into a relationship that Alfred forces Batman to acknowledge. Of course, since it's being forced, Batman makes dumb decisions such as manipulating Robin in order to get Superman's Phantom Zone projector, but they make that decision backfire in a hilarious way. Batman ends up finding out that Superman didn't invite him to the Justice League's anniversary party because literally no one likes Batman in this movie. It's moments like this that made me appreciate the Lego Batman movie because it felt so refreshing to have such a lighthearted, comedic superhero movie filled with characters that I personally love and enjoy. Even though this movie is clearly intended for a younger audience, not once did I think to myself, man, I really shouldn't be enjoying this as much as I am. There are jokes that will be hit or miss depending on the person, but there are way more hits than misses. The opening of the movie had me cracking up because it's just so lighthearted that it's funny to see Batman break the fourth wall and mock the typical movie intro that we're all used to seeing.
Black. All important movies start with a black screen. And music. Edgy, scary music.
I'd understand if that didn't do anything for you or necessarily made you laugh so hard that you have tears down your face, but for me, I absolutely love this simple yet stupid idea because we don't get them often enough in other comic book movies. Most of these movies are super serious and attempt to bite off more than they can chew, but Lego Batman embraced its overall tone while managing a healthy balance of comedic timing and storytelling. Sometimes comic book movies forget that they're comic book movies, which are inherently dumb, and that's okay. But along the way, it feels like sometimes they forget to embrace the fact that they're comic book movies. This was the second time I truly sat down, chose a comic book movie to watch, and immediately thought, you know what? We need more of this. We need more movies that aren't afraid to embrace the idea of being a fun, lighthearted comic book movie. And you want to know the only other time I've ever had that same thought? It was when I finished watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is my favorite comic book movie ever made. And before anyone tries to question whether I'm putting the movies on the same pedestal, I'm not. It's just hard to not see the similarities between both of these movies having a ton of fan service, funny moments, and having a meaningful story that'll resonate with people who are fans of Batman or Spider-Man. As for the action scenes of this movie, I have to give credit where it's due. Since the entirety of this movie has a beautiful color palette, almost every moment or sequence of the movie has your attention. For example, I absolutely love the idea of title cards showing up as Joker named every single villain within Gotham that he's teaming up with in the very beginning of the movie. It's one of the many simple ideas that's executed so damn well because it's almost like an everyone's here type of moment that we saw in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Plus, it also mocks how ridiculous some of the names of these Batman villains are immediately after Joker names every single one of those villains.
Okay, are you making some of those up?
Nope, they're all real. Probably worth the Google.
Again, I fully acknowledge that this movie is totally ridiculous and might not be a movie that every single person loves, but as a DC fan, this is way more enjoyable than half of the DCEU movies I've watched and reviewed on my channel. Also, I have to give a massive shout out to the ending of this movie. They go all in with this idea of sending Joker to this location called the Phantom Zone after Batman gets the Phantom Zone projector, which leads to Joker releasing a bunch of bad guy characters. All of these pop culture characters that people legitimately know make this grand appearance and try to take down Gotham with the Joker just because they want to be freed from the Phantom Zone. As much as I hate to say it, it reminds me of that one scene in Ready Player One, but this is done in a more meaningful and notable way that actually matters to Lego Batman's story. Even with this villainous Avengers Assemble moment, Joker's plans fail, but instead of Batman just regularly saving the city, the movie ends with Batman and Joker teaming up to save the city of Gotham. It's something you never thought you would want to see, but the way this movie goes about it makes total sense and leads to this mutual or respectable "I hate you" moment between Joker and Batman before Gotham is saved. Lego Batman wasn't a movie that I thought I'd like. In fact, I've browsed right past it on HBO Max a number of times. But after finally watching the movie, I can genuinely say that I appreciate the hell out of it. I would love to get more lighthearted, high-quality movies like the Lego Batman movie that aren't afraid to have great fan service or do really fun ideas that might not land in a live-action superhero movie. It's a shame that because of Universal Pictures obtaining the film rights to the Lego Movie franchise, the sequel to this movie ended up getting cancelled. If you have 2 free hours and you're a fan of Batman or DC Comics in general, I'd absolutely suggest watching this movie. It'll make you laugh, it'll put a smile on your face, you'll absolutely have a good time, and it'll make you remember how ridiculous Batman is because the movie is pretty damn good at intentionally pointing out his flaws. There's so much to love about this movie, even though we're likely never getting a sequel, and honestly, this is one of the only DC movies that feels like a Marvel movie, with the other being Shazam. Lego Batman isn't perfect, but it's a movie that I had way too much fun with, and it's probably a movie that I'll rewatch sometime in the near future when I need a good laugh. Also, I'm going to be diving deeper into this movie's Joker in my ranking the various live action and theatrical Jokers video, so look out for that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you really enjoyed this video, hit that sub button. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, write a comment down below. Don't forget to keep it real with peace, love, and positivity.